If somebody does something and you go, oh, that makes my blood boil. I go, really? I can control you like a puppet on a string. If you eliminate the reactive mind, you no longer react to anything. You can respond with conscious awareness, but nobody can push your buttons because you don't have any buttons to push. This is what gives you power.
Well, how do you personally define the subconscious mind?
There's actually three areas of the mind. There's the analytical mind. This is the one that looks at the facts. It's the one that can only see what's on the radar screen. It's analyzing data. It's looking at the facts. Here's how much money I make. Here are my bills. This is what I can afford to save. You're looking at facts. That's the analytical mind. Then you have the subconscious mind, which is the mind that operates below your level of conscious awareness. You're not aware of what's there and what's vibrating and what your beliefs are, what your thoughts are. It's below your level of consciousness. Then you have the reactive mind. And the reactive mind reacts. So this is where you get your buttons pushed. Oh, he pushed my buttons. Oh, I just got triggered. That triggers me. That means your reactive mind is being triggered. That means you don't have any control. If somebody does something and you go, oh, that makes my blood boil. I go, really? You have no control. I can control you like a puppet on a string because all I have to do is say this word and I can piss you off. I go, I control you. You don't control yourself. Yeah. So if you eliminate the reactive mind, you no longer react to anything. You can respond with conscious awareness, but nobody can push your buttons because you don't have any buttons to push. This is what gives you power. Some people call this how to control the mind. So when you're in a situation and something happens that you don't want to happen, but you just go, you know, I'm gonna handle this. Instead of getting irrational, having an irrational and uncontrollable emotion, if you eliminate that, man, you are in control. There was when I was in prison for contempt of court, I wasn't charged with a crime, but I was there for 8.5 years. My brothers over there, we would play basketball, whatever, and they would get triggered all the time. And I go, Leroy, come here. Slap him across the face. I go, come on, man, control your mind. Don't let that guy control you. And all these guys today, many of them are millionaires because of the training that I gave them when they were in prison. They came out, cleaned up their act. A lot of them were drug dealers. They cleaned up their act. And there's one guy who makes $1 million a month with an online business. Went from drug dealer, broke, $1 million a month. But he says, what you taught me about being able to control my emotions by controlling my mind and not being able to get triggered, man, it made me feel like Superman. It made me feel like I am in control of my life instead of I'm out of control and I'm being, affected by everything else around me. I affect everything else around me now instead of everything else around me affecting me.
Right. Yeah, that's incredible. That's what, this is where I tell people, you got to give space between stimulus and response. And that's that reactive mind you're talking about. So many people are instantaneous responses. So many, they're triggered right away. They don't even have a break in between to analyze the situation and coherently understand what just happened, process it, and look for a solution to the problem, or maybe even just ignore it completely. Maybe it doesn't even deserve any of your attention at all.
Right.
And I'm guilty of that. I've done that in the past as well. I've responded to something instantaneously without giving that space between stimulus and response. And usually when you do that, you end up with a bad result.
Yeah. And then you always say something like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Well, if you didn't mean to say it, why'd you say it?
Right.
Because you reacted. It wasn't you. It was the reactive mind throwing something you didn't think. So it wasn't a conscious statement that you made. It was not even subconscious. It was a reaction out of the reactive mind. Because if you think about it, you wouldn't have said it. Then you go back and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Yeah. Okay, well, good. If you eliminate that part, you become incredibly powerful. And that's we call it clearing the reactive mind or freeing the reactive mind so you don't have that. This is part of the mind training that I teach in the book, Your Wish is Your Command, how to control the mind so that you can control your life.
You have to kind of break down that subconscious coding, that programming, and part of the ego, and then you got to kind of help them rebuild it. It's so bizarre, but it's there, and that's that's what the need is for this kind of self-improvement, teaching. It really is important.
Yeah, and the reason why people don't follow the instructions or people self-sabotage their own success is they have counter intentions. Nobody in the self-improvement field talks about this because, quite frankly, no one knows about it. Sometimes they talk about limiting beliefs, but they don't really comprehend it. I was taught this in the Brotherhood back in the early 70s because I could see energy from the moment I was born. So I could see the energy. So when I broadcast from my brain a desire or a thought, I could see if I would move it up into gamma, or if I moved it into alpha or theta or delta or beta or whatever I was, I could see how it would affect the energy in the universe. So the billionaire brainwave is to be able to broadcast your desire, the picture of what you want, right at the bottom end of alpha, at the top end of theta. That's the billionaire brainwave. If you're in the beta, then you're in the slave wave, the poverty wave. So you want to be in that manifesting wave, or that billionaire brainwave, or that wealth wave. But when I was working with these guys, we learned, because I could see the energy, that there is counter intention. So let's say that you're putting out a frequency or a desire, I want more money. Good. So you're putting that out. But you feel like there's a headwind. You feel like there's something invisible there that's holding you back. You almost feel like you're swimming upstream, or you feel like you're walking up a mountain and you get 1,000 pounds on your back. There's something that's wrong, and you know it. It's like, why is this? Why do I feel like there's something pushing against me? That's called counter intention. And where it comes from is it comes in your DNA from your ancestors, and it comes in your own memory from this lifetime. And if you buy into the idea of previous lifetimes, but at least this lifetime, where you put decisions. I'll give you an example. Let's say that, and by the way, researchers now, scientists in major universities have documented that if in your ancestors, as far back as 7 generations, if there was a trauma, let's say that you were in a concentration camp or you were slaved and beaten and so forth, that trauma is in your DNA and it vibrates 24/7 beneath your level of conscious awareness, and it works as a counter intention. So watch this one. You're saying, I want to make more money. Good. But your grandmother was very religious. And she said, money is the root of all evil. It's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. The poor will inherit the earth. The rich are going to go to hell. So all of a sudden you have this counter intention around money from a religious standpoint, and you're trying to make money, but this energy is going, no, you don't, because you're going to go to hell. You're not going to go to heaven. You have this invisible counter intention. So you have to clear this out of your own memories and your DNA, whether it's relationship. You could have a lot of counter intentions on relationship, and maybe you put one in yourself. You come home and your lover is in bed with somebody else. And then you go, I'll never trust another woman. Well, now you have something in your, it's like a lock. And so every time you get into a relationship, you have this subconscious thing going, I'll never trust another woman. Now you don't trust her. And then it causes friction in the relationship, and the relationships you can't flourish. So unless you clear out counter intention, you're going to have all these self-sabotage actions where, you get the business meeting to make the deal, and then you get drunk the night before.
Yeah.
And you show up late and you blow the deal. Why would you do that? Well, you didn't do it consciously, but you did it subconsciously. So this is we talk about that in the book, Your Wish is Your Command. And this is what I was taught, how to clear those counter intentions out so that when you're trying to create something in your life or attain a goal, you don't have headwinds. You don't have something pushing against you. Ideally, you want the wind at your back. You want all the doors open. You want all the lines greased. You want a clear road. You don't want a traffic jam. You want everything clear as you're moving forward. And you can get there. When you get there, all of a sudden stuff just starts happening almost like it feels like by magic.
It was just an awakening.
My income has doubled. I'm getting close to tripling.
You can build an amazing, amazing life, although just your wish is your command.
How
much more money I'm earning and the woman that I have in my life is just miraculous.
The wish is your command gave me the recipe to manifest the job that I wanted. It really just gives you the recipe.
After I finished it, my life changed. My income doubled. I make lots more money. It was like magic.
I'm making more money than I've ever had, ever.
Enlightening.
Empowering.
Powerful, but simple.
Inspiring. Activating.
After getting your wishes or command, I went from 5K on my bank account to 8 million in 1.5 years.